Hello and welcome to Juno New Origins. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. What is Juno New Origins, you may be asking? Well, funnily enough, only a few hours ago I would have been asking the exact same question. You see, the developers of Juno New Origins reached out to me and said, would you like to make a video of our title? It comes out on Thursday, I think, when you're watching this. If I can get this up on Saturday the 21st, I believe this title comes out on, if I remember correctly, and I will just look up their email, it comes out on Thursday the 26th? Yes, Thursday the 26th of January. So I'm recording this on Friday the 20th of January. So that is when it leaves early access. So at the moment that I'm recording this, it is an early access game. But what is it? So according to them, it says, bring to life anything you can imagine, rockets and aeroplanes to cars and more. Automate them with a visual programming language, interesting, and explore some 3D planets and make your own. That is quite interesting. Share your creations online, complete contracts, conquer milestones, and unlock technology from the newly added career mode. This title has been in development for 6 years, so I'm sort of optimistic about it. I have gone into the title just to see what it is like in terms of the interface and how difficult it's going to be to set up and what I can and cannot show. Essentially, I do not want to be spending 20 minutes looking through a menu, for example, so I've gone ahead and done that. Aside from that, I have not done much else. So in this video, I'm going to show you around the interfaces. We'll make a basic rocket, I guess. We'll see what we can do. Nothing too fancy, just absolute bog standard basic. And then towards the end, we'll probably look at the planet editor. Probably not going to make a planet though. So if you want to see all of that, make sure you stay tuned and leave a comment if you want to see a series of this. So yes, please do let me know. Okay, so I have started a new career mode here. Sorry, not a career mode, a sandbox mode here. I thought it might be better for me not to do the career mode and just stick with the sandbox for this particular playthrough. Not playthrough really, but the first impressions playthrough. Obviously, if I do a full playthrough, it shall be career mode. So this is what we are greeted with at the start. It shows a rocket, which is just a bog standard rocket. We've got Planet Studio, which we will be looking at later on. We have modifications, which is a link to modifications for this title. This title can be modded. I'm not going to look into that at this particular point in time, because obviously it's my first impressions. I really don't want to be putting mods in and then being biased or skewed one way or another. And then at the bottom we have build and launch. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go to build first, check your staging, okay, and we're going to have a look at this. So this is the build interface. Now on this build interface, it does look quite simple. In fact, if I get rid of that, it's a very simple, effective interface. Buttons on the side, it kind of looks like it is designed for touchscreen. You touch something, drag it in, touch something, drag it in. But I do particularly like it. What I would say is that perhaps having descriptive words on it instead of just having to hover over may be a little easier. That being said, it's still a very nice screen. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrap all of this. So similar to Kerbal Space Program, I figured out that you can just grab these things and delete them, like so. The one thing I found that I cannot do though is I cannot sort of delete this. So I guess you have to start with one of these. So we've got our menu there. Now you could download Craft, which would go to their website and you can just download a craft and immediately it is ready to use. I've already checked that. I was curious about that. So you just press download, bring it in, ready to use. Then you can create a new craft, load craft, save craft, etc. You've got some settings, just all the settings here, which is pretty cool. I've just set my I've set quite a few things to fairly high up, as you can see. Real-time reflections, all of that. Seems to be handling it perfectly well. I'm not sure about this sharpness image setting there, but everything seems to be handling perfectly. It really does. And what's this? Which renders soft shadows in complex geometry. Yeah, no, we're going to leave that at 100%. Haven't really looked at the controls too much yet, so we'll have to look a little bit into that. But at the moment, we're going to look at this designer. So we've got an active tool. So the active tool allows you to click on something, drag it, allows you to translate it. So as you can see, move it like that, rotate it. I'm not going to do that. Part shape tool, which on this one doesn't seem to be doing anything. I'm going to check it on something else. We do have the paint tool. I'm not going to touch this because just before I was recording this to have a look and see what I was actually doing, I thought let me have a quick look at how I can paint something. And what I ended up doing is I clicked on something and everything changed colour, and then it was sort of see-through, and I thought, oh, I've really ruined this. So I'm not entirely sure. I mean, you can see there, theme custom. It sort of tells us we've got gauge colours, solar cells, fabric base, lights, fabric detail, metal display. It is very, very nicely done. The only thing about this is that I do not know what each one of these is. Now, obviously I can tell that one is this, and I can tell that one is probably this. I'm not entirely sure. As to what the windows are, no idea, and I'm not sure how to go inside this particular module. So for example, where it says gauge colors and things like that, I have no idea how to do that just yet. I'll probably figure it out later. Then we've got parts connections, which again, not entirely sure. I guess it's just telling you how you can connect things. So let's press that and select different parts you cannot connect to part. Okay, so all it is you can add a new connection, and that will connect to something else. Pretty simple. And also, I do apologise for my voice going a little bit funny. I promise it will be back momentarily. It isn't my microphone, it isn't my cable, it is actually my voice box. So bear with me. There we go, that should be a lot better. Perfect. Right, let's continue. So we've got our command. That is what we have here. We've got these things called droods. I have no idea what this is. Maybe someone's idea for a joke on this, but a mysterious being that resembles an earthling. They can be a bit fragile, but are great at exploring and piloting. You can put them into cockpits, cabins, and seats, or all seats, to control your crafts even when out of power, and get them out in flight to have a walk. No idea. Now each one of these have a mass, they have a cost, so all of this put together does mean it is quite serious. This is I think there is a lot of mathematics going on behind it. So let's just go ahead and build something quite basic. Nothing too fancy. Let's have a look. So we've got we've got a fuel tank. We've got a strut. Now I could just put the strut like that. That looks terrible. That truly looks terrible. But wait, maybe we can look at the part editor for this. How do I do that? Yes we can. There we go. Now the strut doesn't look so terrible. Now it makes this ship look like a hairdryer. That's the nozzle of a hairdryer. Right, let's throw this away. Made a hash of that. But this is one of the big things that is, I'd say, quite special on this, and that is that we have everything's procedural. So I am very impressed with that. Let's add a heat shield. No, not there. I suppose there we go. Right, that's a heat shield. Could I add some sort of flotation device? No. Ooh, a gyro, a shock absorber. I could, I suppose, add... Well, that's rather large. Wait. We could do symmetrical. Three-way symmetry. That isn't what I want. Four-way symmetry. There we go. This is not quite the style I'd want. How do I open these? Is there any way to open? Maybe. There we go. Okay. Right. We'll bring that down. We'll make these smaller, quite a lot smaller, I would say. There we go. That is better. So that is our landing. Deployed angle. Let's bring them up like that. Deploy speed. That looks fine. Tinker panel. These settings are not fully supported. Let's not touch those. That would be a problem if we touch that. Now that is obviously going to get in the way unless we do this. Now, of course, we could make them much smaller. There we go. Much smaller. Lift them up a little. That could work. Damper. We probably want to leave that as it is. Now, I'm not going to worry about this just yet. I'm just trying out a few things here. So there we go. That looks okay to me. It doesn't look great. We have a parachute at the top. There only seems to be this one type of parachute. So that is something I'll have to look at. Then I guess we want a space habitat. No. Ooh. Does this mean we could launch things, connect things? Possibly. I'll have to look at that. Fuel tank. Let's stick a fuel tank onto this. There we go. Now, what I will do is I should probably try to paint the fuel tank to match the colour of this. So let's go ahead and do that. This much I think I can do. Yes, I can do that. It doesn't seem to be matching. Style flat, style custom, style gloss, semi-gloss. I have no idea how to get it to match this. This is accent colour. It isn't quite... I guess that's close enough. There we go. Oh, that adjusts the normal map. That's clever. So that gives us a little bit more in the way of detail or less. Okay. So that looks to be a normal map adjustment, or just a decal actually. It may not be, or decal and normal map. I do like that. That is well done. Okay, so we have something here. It isn't the greatest at the moment. Let's go ahead and add... no, we could adjust the size of these. Full stop. We could make it longer or shorter. I guess we should probably make this one a little bit shorter. Just to get us started, and then add, sure, a mage engine. Yeah, let's add a mage engine. There we go. Ooh, that isn't underneath. There we go. Now that doesn't look quite right, as you may notice. It doesn't seem to work quite as well, but. If you look at perhaps where we want to do a design for it, what we probably want to do is narrow out the bottom. So to narrow out the bottom of this, we're probably going to, or if we're not going to narrow out the bottom, try and add a couple of different, I suppose, rockets at the bottom. But I'm not sure that is actually going to work. So what I'm thinking is just to perhaps try to make it look maybe somewhat realistic. Either we're going to narrow out the bottom or we're going to expand the bottom of this. Now what I think we should do is I think we should make this, how do I make this bigger? There we go. We'll make this bigger. It isn't going to go that far. We're just going to need fairly low pressure on this. Make sure the gimbaling is working, because that is going to be really important. Now we could, I was going to say, we could keep the chamber pressure really high, or we could lower it, but that's going to lower the efficiency. Size obviously is going to bring things up. Now we've got different power cycles, so we could go for different types of gas generators or staged, or I mean that is astoundingly complicated, and I think that is really impressive. But we're going to just stick with a gas generator here for the power cycle, and the fuel type, of course we could change that, but we're just going to leave it as I suppose we'll just leave it as Keralox, which I guess is kerosene. Hydrolox, no idea what that's going to be, some sort of methane gas sort of thing. So that looks perfectly fine to me. Everything here looks perfectly fine. We could try seamless edges. I don't know if that's going to work. That doesn't seem to be doing anything. Right, and what I was going to do is I was going to try to add some sort of fairing to this. There it is. When using fairings, this must be the base of your fairings. That's not what I meant to do. What have I done here? Realistic. I wanted that the other way. Okay, perhaps I can press R. There we go. And turn it around. It's a bit difficult, but it's getting there. There we go. Okay, let's try that again now. Move that down to the bottom. Do that. And I suppose if we do that to it, I mean, it covers it a little. Yeah, that seems to cover it a little. If we really wanted to, we could be awkward and paint it that colour. Because we could. I think painting it black will probably work better. There we go. Now we have a really strange looking rocket. What else could we do to this rocket? I suppose we could add some fins. Nothing can go wrong with a couple of fins. Well, I mean, I say that. Quite a lot could go wrong with some fins. Right. Small problem on this is that it does not. Actually, I say it does not, but that could be a very interesting fin arrangement. And I do mean very, very interesting there. Very interesting right there. Could I move these further down if I wanted to? I could. But of course, because of the angle of the fairing, that is going to be a very weak spot. However, it is, as I said, I'm just trying things out, not really looking to. Now that would make it more like a canard or something. Canard. what I would want to do is something along these lines. Now, what I do wish is that perhaps I could move each one of these points a little. That would really make it excellent. Not to say that this isn't excellent thus far. So far, this is really nice. I like the idea of and you see this from the front. I like the idea of everything being procedural. So that is the front right there. Right, what else is this? The side of the craft the wing is connected to. Invert aerofoil, physics enabled, add a control. We can add. Okay, well, there is a little bit more going on here. We could add some things: slats, tiles, cross beams, camouflage, none. Okay, so we could add control surfaces if we wanted to. There we go. Control surfaces added onto them. This could go very wrong. This could go very wrong. So I need to adjust that slightly. But it could be very interesting. On the other hand, it could be very interesting. So let's just see how that works. What else could I add to this just to obviously show off what we have here? So we've got RCS thrusters, which we cannot use. Gyroscopes, we've done that. Drogue chute is probably a good idea. So let's go ahead and add a drogue chute. Let's add a couple of drogue chutes actually. Tell you what I'll do. There we go. A second parachute. Okay, well, that I was kind of hoping that would turn into a sideways one because of what they, what we have here. Style, here we go. Top chute, side chute. Perfect. And then I suppose if I really wanted to, I can just tuck this slightly further in like that. Yeah, I think that would probably work a lot better. How do I deselect anything? Escape, right click. Okay, how do I deselect things? Well, let's just leave that on. There we go. I'm wondering if aerodynamics truly are a big part of this. I'm guessing they probably are. What else do we have? Sub-assemblies. Nothing. I guess you can create a sub-assembly because I've seen that. There we go. Create sub-assembly. So you drag that over and that becomes a sub-assembly. We've got a gauge. We've got a camera. We've got a switch. A multifunction display. An electric motor. A rotator. A hinge rotator. A piston. Some lights. Beacon lights. Oh, we've got to have beacon lights on this, right? But the question is, can we select the colour of the beacon light? Blink. Yep, blink. There we go. It's blinking. It's blinking. Can I not? Can I blink frequency? All right, yeah, I know what that is. Like the idea of the double blinks. I think double blinks are always great. No, I don't want that. But I cannot change the colour. That is... Oh wait, maybe it's just a matter of painting it. Will that say light? It does say light. So if I was to change... There we go. There we go. So that is a thing that happens. I suppose. There we go. I have no idea whether this is... I do not know whether I've ruined anything here. But I'm going to leave that, and that looks good. That looks good. This probably is not going to fly, but it is worth a try anyway. So what we need to do is look at the staging editor. And we've got landing legs. All of these things happen in one go, which is no good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some stages. So this is quite similar to... well, that splits apart as well. This is quite similar to how you do it in Kerbal Space Program. So the last stage is going to be the landing legs. Stage 3 is going to be not all the parachutes. We're just going to put 2 of the parachutes there. So we are not splitting this craft. We're going to try and land the... no, actually, I want to split the craft because then I can bring the landing legs out. So the only way to split the craft is if I do this and I add a interstage, a tiny little one. There we go. Connect that there. Go back to this. So landing legs, interstage. So that's, I think we'll say interstage comes up there. And then both parachutes will activate. Do I want both parachutes to activate there? I have no idea. I'm going to have to see. And then I suppose this bit we can just this is going to be gone anyway once it's split. So that could just work with that. Both parachutes. No, I'm going to add another stage. I want this parachute there. That goes there. Stage 6. Okay, that can disappear. There we go. That could work. That could work. Solid engines. That's the other thing. Something else I need to do. Because if I were to place one of these in, now what does this contain? Does it have any... it doesn't have any thrust on it. I was trying to figure out how to create something to push things away. It's getting too complicated now. I know this doesn't look complicated in the slightest, but it is going to begin to become complicated. Yeah, complicated. So let's have a look. Oh, Yuri, you can go up. First man in space. Let's have a look. That says edit programmed. So one of the key parts of this is that you could create a programming loop or whatever it is. So it's all a visual programming language. We've got for loops, while loops, conditional statements. We've got some sleeps or waits, breaks, comment, display log. I have no idea what that one would be. Mathematics. All the operators, it looks like. Oh, we've got logical operators there as well. Yeah, we can do absolute. So we can do trigonometry, sine, cos, tan, arc, sine, arc, cos, arc, tan, natural log, degrees to radians, radians to degrees, absolute values, floors and ceilings. So that's rounding. So you've got round, which will do up and down depending on what it is. Floor will always bring it down. Ceiling will always bring it up. I guess that's angle in arctan squared of between y and x. Okay, that's just looking for an angle between y and x. So that's fine. Then we've got joins, which joining strings of text, lengths, letters, etc. Yeah, that's pretty cool. We've got some rocket options, settings. This is pretty cool, I think, as well. Vectors. There is a lot that has been thought of. Frequency of C#, octave 3. Gets the frequency of the note at the octave. Okay then. Fine. Craft information. So we've got above ground level, above sea level, and then we've got above the sea floor. So that's for altitude, apoapsis or apogee, perigee, periapsis, eccentricity, which is how round the orbit is. So if the eccentricity is 0, it's perfectly round. Anything beyond that is not round, it's more oval. Inclination is obviously how tilted it is. Period is how long it takes to go around it. Atmosphere, air density, air pressure, speed of sound, temperature, great. Performance, so I've noticed here there's no sort of wind or anything like that, so that is nothing we have to worry about. Engine thrust, mass, dry mass, fuel mass, maximum engine thrust, thrust to weight ratio, the impulse, specific impulse of this craft, delta V, and burn time. Stage, yeah, etc. There's a lot over here. Now, this is something that obviously Kerbal Space Program does not have. Lists and arrays, custom expressions, custom instructions, variables. It is quite interesting, and it is something that perhaps I will be looking at in the future. So let's just have a look at the design of this spacecraft. Very basic, nothing fancy. It gives us a price, a mass, width, height, and depth, part count, the delta V, no current specific impulse, so 1.8 kilometers per second is its delta V, burn time 16 seconds. Really? Is that all it's going to manage? Interesting. Thrust to weight ratio will start at 8 because of that is very, very big on the thrust then. So we've got a thrust to weight ratio of 8. We're going to be barely pushing anything then to get ourselves moving. Ending is going to be 16, one engine with 837 kilonewtons of thrust. That is a massive amount of thrust, because if the gravity on this planet is about 9, then realistically we have nearly 10 times the thrust we need, which is exactly what this is saying, the thrust to weight ratio, because you take that, you multiply that 10,600 kilograms, multiply that by 9.81, and you end up with or 9.8, whatever it is in this, so you're going to end up with 98,000 as opposed to just 10,600, or nearly 100,000. And then with 837, or actually it'll be slightly above 100,000, 837 kilonewtons, so that's 837,000 newtons divided by just over 100,000 is going to give you that thrust to weight ratio of 8.03. So that is how that is calculated. I'm now going on an engineering talk, so let's just press start, begin. Sure, launch from a launch pad. I'm not... Ooh, hold on. What does that mean? Is missing a source. What, is there nobody in there? I thought we put... I have no idea. View issues. I have no idea what that means. Do I need to stick one of you in there? No. It has an astronaut. What does it mean? What does that mean? Is it because I went into that flight program thing? I have no idea. Try again now. Now it works. Okay. I'm not sure. As you can see, those are the kind of things we can have. Now, what do we have here? Well, first off, I like the fact that, just by accident, I just realised that with right click and move, you can move around. That does that. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, maybe that's a little bit much. What was that? Pitch 27. Okay, this allows me to control things, which looks like this bit's here, which is a nav sphere panel. Get rid of the flight info. So what that... Yep, that gets rid of it. Now, being a Unity game, generally I would say... Ooh, hold on. I've just noticed that is moving the control surfaces. I'm going to have to be very, very careful here. And it looks like we are headed east, so that's going to be... Yeah, we'll just head in that direction. And hopefully this should work quite nicely. Anyway, being a Unity game, one of the F keys generally gets rid of the UI, and in this case it is F10, which allows us to take images like that. And I have to say that is quite impressive. So I'll go ahead and do that, but that is not what we're here for. How do I get back in the middle? That key? Recenter view on target, great. Oh, right, I've got to be careful of that. So let's go ahead and look at the stages once more. We've got stage 1, how do I change those stages? No idea. Okay, that's fine. Let's go ahead and press space, because that is the common one. In fact, you can see the fuel is now up. Nav wall, that is pretty cool. What does map do? Ah, well that is also pretty cool. Okay, above ground level, above sea level, surface, orbit. So we're currently rotating at 158 meters per second. So far so good. What's that? Activation panel. Oh, we could probably use that. Flight log. Seems to be nothing there. Okay, Kerbal controls, I guess. Shift to go up, control to come down. Yep. And just look at that. Look how little fuel, or how little power I can put in to be moving. So what I'm going to do, since this is a test flight, we're going to pitch the aircraft, and we're going to actually turn. No, we cannot turn it. I'd like to rotate it. Can I do a rotation on it? I can. There we go. And if we try to bring it across that way and down like that, with a bit of rotation, will that actually work? Now, this isn't a very efficient engine for this. As you can see, we are burning through fuel very quickly, but we are moving. We're currently not moving in the direction I would like us to be moving. I would very much like us. In fact, no, we are roughly moving east, so it isn't too bad. There are some weird things going on here. Very strange. It's like it's. I'm guessing it's going through the air. Yes, it is. It is going through the air. Interesting. I think it's trying to glide. I need this rotated though. Can I rotate it? So, okay. So rotation seems to be something I cannot do, which is interesting. We are now sort of falling. I wasn't expecting this, as I did say, I wasn't expecting it to fly. But let's go ahead and pull out some of the drogue chutes. There we go. And we'll go ahead and... Oh, the drogue chute's not working. We'll go ahead and do that. And that. Oh, that actually deployed properly. Great. And I guess, and this is a really silly thing because we're over water, but I guess it's going to be a good option to let's go ahead and try and take some sort of screenshot of this. There we go. Maybe slight tilt. I was going to say drop the water. Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, well, I mean... That's the screenshot. That's the screenshot there. Cool. So we made it. We made it back. Nothing major. I mean, we went up. It wasn't that great. We came back down. It was half decent. We could obviously accelerate a bit more, but we'd need a bigger fuel tank or something that was more efficient. But overall, that seems pretty good. Didn't really get to see much, but that isn't the point here. I just wanted to see what it flew like. There seems to be aerodynamics. I'm not sure exactly how it was working. It seemed a little strange, but perhaps that was just the way the fins were working. So maybe if I, for example, if I just go undo and exit, and let's just get rid of the fins full stop. Shall we just see if that works? There is a possibility of just this working. So what I'm going to do this time, I'm going to have an attempt. We're going to try and fly. I guess if I bring up that map, yeah, let's try and fly north, or not even north. Let's try and fly heading 300. There we go. That's probably where we want to go for this attempt. So we'll just tilt it, and we do not have to go too far. And this is still pretty cool. Just this sort of angle and view and all of that kind of stuff. That's pretty cool as well. But we need to ease off on that. Bring that down. Reset this. Be very careful as to what we're doing. We see, right, okay, without the fins we are doing a lot better. Deactivate this part. Send a camera on this part. Explode this part or not, your call. Okay, this is pretty good. So we've gone up. We'll come back down. We'll land in some hills, not too far away from our base. This does remind me a bit of Kerbal in the sense that you've got the base and then there's nothing else. Absolutely nothing else around, which is obviously not how it is in real life, but still, it does have a very Kerbal thing. But in real life, there'd be all sorts of stuff. Unless there is further up, and obviously I haven't played this title enough to be able to determine that. Right, drogue chutes. Get those drogue chutes going. Good. This is bizarre. I mean, it does feel... aerodynamically, this does seem like it's working. Also, the blue star. So I noticed at the start, in the menu, this star was blue, and so that means it's a hotter star, a lot hotter actually. So you're probably looking at something that is, I suppose it's a type O, maybe a type B star, potentially a type A. So we are in a type, I think it's a G something. I can never remember what the sun is, but it's a G something just before the type K stars is where we are. So that is probably... Oh, did that just break? It did. So do I now do that and that? So now we've got 2 parachutes that should deploy. Can I fast forward time? Only 2 times. Okay, that's fine. Let's get rid of that. That's deployed. Where's the other one? Hello? Anybody? Oh, there it is. Hello. Now that may explode on landing. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we're going to see. Obviously that is descending faster than this because that has a lot higher mass than this, so the parachute cannot keep it up. That may may not explode, but I think it will. I think that's going a little too fast. That's probably going at about 15, 16 meters per second, which is pretty fast. You're talking about that's going to hit the ground at about 38 to 40 miles per hour, which is going to be a boom. I think that's probably going to be a boom. We'll find out. There it goes. Told you. It was a boom. Right, we are nearly just coming up to 1,000 feet. So landing gears deployed. If this works, graphically this title is very nice. Very, very nice graphically. This is going to bounce. Oh, and we're down. And we landed. Okay. Hello. Okay, that's pretty cool. Let's run. Let's run. Let's jump. Let's run. Astronaut is taking damage. Oh, what, from jumping? How much did you jump? Can we get back on board? Whoa, 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 whoa. Careful. Careful there. Crew, enter. Cool. Okay, that was something different. But that's that bit done. So I guess now that we've seen that, I think it's quite impressive. If we press M, we're going to go for a map. And we can actually click on the planet and see all the information about the planet. And there's a moon there, Luna. Of course, it's called Luna. Where's our planet? Is that the planet? Is that true? Is that where we are? Yes, that. Okay, I think we have two moons. There's another one over there. Where's the sun? There it is. Juno. Period. Not available. Eccentricity. Not available. Semi-major axis. Not available. Inclination. Not available. Right ascension. Not available. Arc of periapsis. Not available. True anomaly. Not available. I guess it's not available. Let's go back anyway to true. Can I zoom back in? Yes, I can. There we go. Anyway, so let's just leave this. We'll end the flight. We'll recover the craft. Recover craft, fine. And let's go ahead and have a look at the Planet Studio before we end. So this is about a 1 hour look at this title. So in the Planet Studio, we get to create a system, create planet, load planet. Let's just go ahead and create a planet. Again, I'm not sure much about this. Let's try a star. A giant natural fusion reactor covered in flames. That's a pretty good way to describe. I guess we could create the solar system. Right. Let's move away from this. That's so that is Sol. That is a type G star. Temperature day 5,778 Kelvin. Well, that isn't very hot. That isn't very hot at all. So how does this work? Has atmosphere? You can do yes and no. How does this work? Surface gravity 274. Radius, okay, that's fine. So we've got a whole bunch of information here. Rings. No, we don't want rings on it. Okay, not too sure. I guess that's just... that is that. How would I change the type of star, though? Would that... how would I do that? Would I change the colour? How would I change the colour? Ah, I've noticed something. Now I can no longer... ah, there we go. So you can click on these and change these. 40 million. There we go. Surface air density. Massive. But rebuild is required. That was rebuilt. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, I'm just jumping into this. Maybe this? Select texture. No. Color. I have no idea. That doesn't seem to do anything. Oh, unless I've got to do a rebuild, of course. That is doing nothing. So that isn't the one. That is certainly not the one. I do wonder how to change the colour of the star. Oh well. That's one thing that I've noticed, so maybe there's a bit more to it. Yes, let's create a terrestrial planet and see what we can do. Let's call the planet Planet Bob. Why not? Blackadder reference. Planet Bob. Okay. And here is the planet Bob. Let's bring that up to 10. So that's how I can move around. So that's the planet. Quite basic. Let's add some rings to this planet. Let's see what happens. There's no rings. Select texture. Terrestrial, all textures. Interesting. So this is how they do this. Let's select that. I don't see the rings. Don't see the rings at all. Still not. Oh, rebuild is required. Never mind. There we go. I see the rings. I am in the rings. That is quite fancy. That is really, really fancy. And then we could rotate them. So we could do that. There we go. That actually worked exactly the way I wanted it to. Cool. What's scale space? There's a lot of stuff here. There is a lot. This is not just a... This is more than just a starship rocket sort of thing. Temperature day, 19 degrees Celsius. Temperature night, about 0, just under 0. That's fairly normal. Again, I do not see wind or anything. Oh wow, we can do some rally scattering so you can give it a bigger halo and things like that. That's pretty cool. Sun brightness, wave magnitude. There is a lot. Increases the density. You could make a ridiculously good thing. Now, realistically, the atmosphere density is actually really quite small on a planet. So you've got to bear that in mind. Just to make things realistic, you really want to do something more like that. So sky, terrain, okay, you can do colouring there, both. Noon colour, dusk colour, ambient day. There's a lot here. You could create your own planet and then go explore. Colour gradients of what? Water? Yes. Has water? No. Rebuild. What will happen? No water. Has water? Yes. Rebuild. Water. That is impressive. Mountain textures, biomes, creating mountains, brush for manipulating So you got continents, ranges, poles, temperature, moisture, detail, clouds, ice plates. What on earth? There's so much to do here. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to show you all of this, and certainly this is not this isn't my sort of thing overall to show on video. This is something I would perhaps look at, build, and then go around exploring. The rockets, on the other hand, that is very much my sort of thing. But this is Juno New Origins, and thus far it is really, really impressive. I am thoroughly impressed. A couple of things to perhaps improve on. I think if they could work on being able to see the various different stages whilst you're in flight, unless whilst I'm in flight I haven't actually noticed how to do that. That would be great. Maybe add a few different bits and bobs, but again, I've not really explored it too much, so everything might be there when it comes to building things. I really don't know. Graphically, it looks pretty good. Sounds wise, pretty good. The music is nice, the logo's nice. It's full of features. Air, wind simulation. If you could do that, that would be really, really cool. But with that, I'm going to end this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on this. If you want to see more, make sure you leave comments. I may do a few in a career mode, but I shall have to see. Again, thank you to the developers of Juno New Origins. I believe they're called Jundrew or Junedrew, maybe. Junedrew. Thank you to them for actually supplying me a key. This has been quite impressive and well done on 6 years of hard work to develop quite a good title, I would say. Maybe you could smooth these out. See where it pixelates. I know when you zoom in, I know all that pixelation's gone, but perhaps just for, maybe it's a view option or something, that would be really quite cool. If you can do so, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. A link in the description box below. That's www.patreon.com/ECGadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. It would really, really help me out. And also, you can find me on social media at ECGadgetLP for both Twitter and Instagram. Lastly, do go check out my Discord server if you want to do so. Link to the free section in the description box as well. That is all from me, and I will see you next time in, well, if I make another video on this, which I think I shall. They look like clouds. It's sand, but they look like clouds from certain angles. That is all from me, and I shall see you next time, as I said, if I make another video of this in, look at that, the colour. I mean, just, that is remarkable. That there is truly remarkable. But I'll see you next time in this title, or any other title.